Well, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, a Catholic, is a 16-year veteran of Capitol Hill and the #2 Republican in the U.S. House. But he has another story to tell, how his faith helped him with a number of life-threatening challenges, most recently a blood cancer diagnosis and treatment. Capitol Hill correspondent Eric Rosales sat down with him to get his thoughts.
I'm joined with Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Leader, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, it's good to be here. Good to be with you as always.
Leader, we've had so many of our Catholic faithful ask, how is the leader doing?
For so many people that are watching that said prayers and offered just true, genuine support, I can't thank everybody enough, because you feel that, when you're going through things. And thank God, God performed a lot of miracles and answered a lot of prayers, because, if you go back to August when I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, I didn't even know what that was.
Scalise says he started chemo the day after he was diagnosed. 4 months later, he was ready for a stem cell transplant and had to be isolated for 6 weeks.
I had to be isolated at the hospital, and had to be away from my job. I have a pretty intense job, and I'd missed being away, but I knew I had to focus on my health, and we did. We zoned in really tightly, and then once that was done, and my doctor said, "Okay, you're clear now. You can go back to work and travel again." I got back here, and we had a tie vote. I was, the week later, I was able to come back and literally broke the tie vote. But I'm very blessed that it was a form of cancer that we caught early enough and treated it, and the treatments worked.
So right now you are in remission, or?
I'm in remission, and my system is, to kind of clean your system out, and I have a new immunity system, and it's working fine now.
As we know, this isn't your first bout with your life. Years ago, you were shot on the baseball field practicing for the upcoming congressional baseball game, and one might question one's faith and say, "Lord, how much more can I take?" But did you do that?
His intent was to kill all of us on that ball field, and again, God performed miracles that day. I mean,
yes, He did.
No other way to explain some of the things that happened. When I got to the hospital, my doctors said I didn't even have another minute to spare.
You're a devout Catholic. I mean, what has this done to your faith? Has it strengthened it?
It's strengthened it in so many ways, and it also put a different focus too on what is really important in life. I said, I've got to put this in God's hands, and I said some really direct prayers to God, asked Him for some heady things, and I started thinking about my young kids, my daughter, and wanted to make sure I could go to her wedding.
Scalise says he prays each night, thanking God for his day, even for the hardships. What advice would you have for others out there, faithful, who are battling cancer or life-debilitating diseases?
God gives you the strength to get through it, and He puts people around you and recognize that. It's not just God Himself in the flesh. It's doctors and friends and other people that are in your life that can help you get through those tough times. And they might say, "Hey, God, why aren't you doing enough for me?" God is. He's sending people to you, and you just don't realize that's where they're coming from. And so God gives you a lot of different signals and tools, and use every single one of them.
With all the protests and violence taking place around the world and in this country, the Majority Leader says, just like former President Ronald Reagan said, freedom is only one generation away from extinction, and we all need to preserve that freedom.
I would say to any of those people that hate America, that are living here and chant all kind of anti-American slogans, where would you rather be? Because, by the way, you're free to go to that place if there is, and they never name a place, by the way. They just want to ruin this place, and we can't let that happen.
Majority Leader, absolute pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
God bless you.